10:10 Bible Study. Jump into the Word with us.
Welcome back to this week's edition of our 10:10 Bible Study. I guess I probably should have started off saying today's edition of our 10:10 Bible Study, but I don't feel like restarting this thing. I'm doing this in one take. Today we're talking about Proverbs 13, and what Proverbs 13 really hones in on is a comparison between the righteous and the wicked. Hopefully you guys have been able to hang with us for this entirety of our Proverbs study, and that you've really picked up on a lot of this book has to do with wisdom, wickedness, foolishness, righteousness, holiness, that kind of stuff. That's really what the entirety of this book is. So expect that theme to continue. But Proverbs 13 goes back and forth a lot. And it honestly is a little annoying to read. I read it out loud with my younger brother when I was trying to really study and learn more about what Proverbs 13 says. And I kind of found myself being bored with the own tone of my voice because it constantly just goes, this thing is this, but that thing is that. This thing is this, but that thing is that. And if you read through Proverbs 13, which you should, you'll probably find that same theme. But the comparison that we get here between righteousness and wickedness is very interesting. There are a few things that stick out that I think that it would be good for us to take away here. One of them being pride leads to conflict. Those who take advice are wise. Wealth from get-rich-quick schemes quickly disappears. Wealth from hard work grows over time. And that's only part of this theme, but the pride leading to conflict, those taking advice are wise. It only continues on with this back and forth duel between righteousness and wickedness, because if you think about the pride, specifically with this example in the following verse, those were verses 10 and 11. Verse 11 talks about how the wealth of trying to get rich quick, that won't last, that won't stay. No amount of material wealth will stay. I could go grab my wallet right now, and no matter how much cash might be in there, no matter how much might be on my debit card, it really doesn't matter. That wealth is all fleeting. I'm not taking that wealth with me to heaven. It doesn't matter. And so the pride that I might have in whatever I materially possess, it's worthless in the long run. But those who take advice are wise. Advice would be recognizing, okay, you know what? I need to ask someone for some help. I need to make sure that I'm not just leaning on my own understanding, which we read in Proverbs 3. And there's something later on in this passage that really stuck out. And it's this, which I think we can all relate to. Those who spare the rod of discipline hate their children. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them. And you might think to yourself, okay, wait, that's not a way to justify my parents disciplining me. It might not be, it depends. I mean, there are some cases where discipline is just, discipline is unjust, but keep in mind, your parents are just as imperfect as you are. They're just as imperfect as me. They're just as imperfect as Kevin, Allison, Will, Laura, and Zach. All of us on the student ministry team, we aren't perfect, and we don't pretend to be. We don't want to try to put this facade for you guys, but the fact of the matter is that discipline is biblical. Discipline is something that helps grow us and make us better. If I wasn't disciplined for the mistakes that I made as a kid, then I wouldn't have ended up knowing what it looks like to have a negative consequence. I would have just thought I can do whatever I want and it's fine, and that's not true. Everything will have consequences. Discipline is meant to help protect us. And so, largely, this comparison we get in Proverbs 13 between the righteous and the wicked, it has to do with discipline and pride. If you're too prideful to accept discipline, then Proverbs 13 means nothing to you. But if you're able to swallow your pride and you're able to submit to whatever discipline is put down over you, trust me, it only draws you closer to God, and it makes this whole life a lot easier to have humility, not just be filled with pride, and be able to submit to whatever discipline comes your way. Because hey, if you did something wrong and you're getting disciplined temporarily, it helps you in the long run. I speak from experience, trust me. Discipline really helps. Listen to the people that are above you. Don't be like the wicked, be like the righteous. Continue to listen to the wisdom that God provides to you, and keep on paying attention to this Proverbs study, guys. That we're doing our best trying to convey it to you, but the best way that you can understand it is to read it yourself. See you all next time.
10:10 Bible Study. Jump into the Word with us.